First up, the weight loss product that promises so much, a slimming spray that's been spruiked on national television and attracted investors from across Australia. But there are serious questions about SensaSlim, questions that Justin Armsden wanted to ask the man behind the spray.
They took us absolutely hook, line and sinker.
I lost my appetite and my cravings and the weight just dropped off.
There's no evidence to suggest that something works, then it doesn't.
The slick marketing, the doctor, the jockey's story, twins and the missing medical research. There was something in the mist that lured Aussie investors to part with millions of dollars. Tonight, we blow the lid on the claims of a slimming spray swindle. The ritzy Palazzo Versace Hotel on the Gold Coast. It's where the masterminds behind SensaSlim dazzled an audience of 200 with claims they'd unearthed a revolution in weight loss and they had the evidence to prove it.
Everything was very extravagant the whole way through.
It was the doctor who added weight to SensaSlim's claims. Dr Matthew Capehorn says he was flown in from the UK as the company's research director and paid $15,000. He gave a speech at the launch.
They wanted me as a professional, as an obesity expert, and it's actually stated that in no way would I be used as a salesman or to come across as endorsing the product.
But he was splashed all over the SensaSlim website without his approval, he says.
And I'm research director for SensaSlim.
Appearing in a video raving about the product. On top of that, grand claims by SensaSlim of clinical research over 20 years. 11,400 people tested, and for extra impact, a set of twins boosted their marketing spin.
How much did you lose?
I lost 5 kilos in 6 weeks and noticed a significant change in my appetite and the amount of food I took in.
At least 100 investors salivated for a piece of the oral spray action, each buying 60 grand worth of product, some 3 times over. It was up to them to sell the little white bottles across the country. They say they were promised millions of dollars worth of ongoing advertising and marketing. And as luck would have it, a jockey whipped up a marketing dream. He was suing SensaSlim because the appetite suppressant worked too well.
I didn't expect to lose weight that quick.
And he blamed it for weighing in light and costing him a victory. A primetime TV current affairs program, Not Us, lapped up SensaSlim's story and the jockey's claims. SensaSlim's internal newsletters lapped it up too. But the mood soon soured. Dr Capehorn alleges SensaSlim broke an agreement. He wrote a review paper on the clinical trials without seeing the evidence. He claims the company circulated his paper without his authority.
I actually did a white paper for them, a review paper, based on the information that they provided to me. Now, in my contract, I felt quite happy in this because it actually states that no image of me or no written word from me, no written materials at all, would be published or used until they had my explicit approval.
And there were more comments attributed to him on the website about jockeys using the spray.
I certainly didn't say any of that and never would, because no medical professional would ever promote a weight loss product in somebody who wasn't overweight or obese. It's unethical and it's completely inappropriate.
There's questions to be asked, with investors claiming only a fraction of the promised advertising and marketing was delivered, so they can't sell the product. I was told SensaSlim director Peter O'Brien was overseas, so I went to the company's office in Sydney, looking for anyone from management who could help.
Yeah, we're just here to see someone from SensaSlim.
They're actually not in at the moment.
While waiting on answers to our request for interviews, something about SensaSlim's sales pitch gave us an eerie sense of déjà vu.
The future of the diet industry is right here, right now. No longer are we using pills for dietary aids. It is now an intraoral spray.
Chowlo, Biolin, Trimit and twins promoting the product. And then Slim Mist, another slimming spray. All the work of notorious conman Peter Foster.
Peter, let me list some of the names that you have been called. Among them, scum, conman, parasite, gangster, fight fixer, and not to mention a liar and a thief. Poor misunderstood Peter Foster?
You forgot handsome.
He was the smooth-talking playboy who, in the 80s, had glamour model Sam Fox on his arm and went on to give financial advice to Tony Blair's wife Cherie.
I drink vitamin tea 3 times a day after eating normal meals.
He had the sort of cred that saw investors flocking to buy slimming franchises and products that they just couldn't sell. Ultimately, the serial fraudster was convicted and jailed. In 2007, Mark Anning from solicitors Holding Redlick investigated the Slim Mist scam and said it was
done in such a way so that Peter Foster's involvement would never be discovered. The setup had the ring of truth to it. There were flash websites with photos of head office in Geneva, which were completely bogus.
You know, when you start hiding things, that's when you run into problems.
The ACCC eventually banned Foster from having anything to do with weight loss remedies or any therapeutic goods up until August this year. Foster's been out of jail for 2 years and he's living on the Gold Coast.
When SensaSlim came along, certainly myself and many other colleagues within the obesity profession thought this was a new and novel weight loss product, and we wouldn't have thought that had we been aware of Slim Mist.
Does Peter Foster have a copycat? 3 out of 5 of SensaSlim's key ingredients were also found in Slim Mist, and SensaSlim's parent company is based in Switzerland, just like Slim Mist. And there's the twins, just like Trimit. Now, I tried speaking with 2 people who raised concerns about SensaSlim, but they couldn't talk because they're being sued for defamation by the company. In digging a little further, I found what appeared to be some startling irregularities inside the defamation paperwork that was filed to the Supreme Court. Firstly, the difference in the signatures from the witness Richard Scott Cooper to the affidavit submitted by SensaSlim director Peter O'Brien are quite different on both. And it was signed with his name in the capacity as a solicitor. Richard Scott Cooper was disbarred from practising in New South Wales in 1990, and there is no other registered solicitor by that name in the country. Richard did some consultancy work for SensaSlim, but he left Australia in February for the UK and says he hasn't returned since while these documents were filed in April and May. He also says this definitely isn't his signature.
We were commissioned to do advertising, so from packaging through to brochures, flyers, leaflets, TV, print advertising as well.
Jack Singleton is still waiting to be paid $20,000 by SensaSlim, but isn't holding out much hope.
I know of at least one other advertising agency they've gone to. Just happens to be a guy I know. They've gone to see him. They didn't realise the connection. And the same things happen with him. Well, pallet loads of SensaSlim sit in investors' garages, going unsold. The company is eyeing expansion overseas. Franchises are on offer in Portugal, Cameroon, Canada and elsewhere. There are references to the Wall Street Journal, Time magazine and so on. Now, we don't know whether articles appeared because no one from the company will talk to us. Now, we're not saying Peter Foster's up to his old tricks. There's no conclusive evidence, and SensaSlim's lawyers say he's definitely not involved. Plus, he'd be flouting the law if he was. But there is something about SensaSlim that leaves a nasty taste in your mouth.
Does sound familiar, doesn't it? Though they refuse to respond to our questions to date, SensaSlim now say they've not had an opportunity to respond to these claims. We've offered to interview them as soon as they're available, and that offer remains open. We will let you know if they accept. And for the record, we asked Peter O'Brien's new lawyers about the signatures on those affidavits, but received no response.